Hey guys, my name is Kathy, and thank you so much for coming to my channel, Crafty Kathy. Today I have some awesome Dollar Tree DIYs for you guys. It's snowman and plaid themed. These are excellent. I think you're going to love them. Hey, if this is the first time that you've ever been to my channel, I'd like to say a big welcome and thank you so much for stopping by to spend some time with me. And if you guys are returning, you know I love you from the bottom of my heart. Now this week, I am doing a collab with a very special lady named Bree from Bree's Arts. She's from Canada and she's an awesome friend of mine. And we're going to talk about Miss Bree just a little bit later on in the video. I also wanted to let you guys know before we sing our silly little theme song that I'm having problems with my comments for some reason. So if I answer one of your comments several times, it's because when I go back and look at my comments, I get a lot of comments, which I'm super thankful for. But about every 2 or 3 days, I'll go through and do about 20 of them to try to keep track of them, or sometimes more. And it looks like I haven't answered a comment where I may have already answered it, so I answer it again. But I always strive to at least give you a little heart on every comment to let you know that I read them, and I'm very appreciative of every single one of you guys. But I wanted you to know that my comments are going crazy right now. Now, on our channel, we have a motto, and we do love and laughs and DIYs here. So, that's how our silly little theme song was born. And this is the executive producer, and he makes me sing it every week. So, on our channel, we got love and laughs and DIYs. 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 Yeah. Woo, baby. Yeah. Now let's get on with the show.
It's cold outside, but the fire keeps us warm. We can spend the night.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. In our first DIY, we're going to use some Christmas sheet music, and I wanted to stain it. Now, I'm going to stain mine with coffee, and I just wanted to show you guys how easy it is to do that. You basically just have to submerge your paper in coffee for 5 to 10 minutes. Now, I used instant coffee, but it does not matter if you use instant, regular, cold, or hot. This piece of paper just came out of the coffee, and as you see, it's still very wet. Now, I let mine air dry for just a few minutes. I don't think that you have to. The big important part is how you dry it. You're going to dry it in a preheated oven on 200 for 5 to 10 minutes, or you're going to use a hair dryer. Now, I used a hair dryer, and it turned out perfectly fine. I thought that I would just throw that in real quick because a lot of people were asking me how you stain paper with coffee. So I've got an 8x10 canvas frame from the Dollar Tree. I had already pulled off the canvas, so all we have is just the frame. I'm going to give it one coat of Waverly's Antique Wax, and then I'm just going to wipe off the excess with a baby wipe. After everything is finished up and dried, I'm going to take my little finger sander and go around and give this a really good sanding. I've got to cut my sheet music down so it will fit in the 8x10 the way I want it to. I wanted to use some cardstock behind this, so I just picked my cardstock out, I cut it out, and then I'm just going to use a glue stick to put my sheet music to my cardstock. Next, I take the cardstock and I'm just going to glue it to some foam core board that I had got at Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to lay everything out the way I want it and just glue it down with a little bit of hot glue. I picked out this gorgeous plaid ribbon, but it was way too thick. It was going to hide the words, "Oh Holy Night." So what I did was just cut off a small strip of it. I rolled it over on itself and glued it down. This is going to make it so much easier to work with. So now I just take my ribbon and I glue it around the top of the wreath. And then I'm going to take and glue my ribbon to my picture frame. Then I took some of the red Dollar Tree pit berries and I'm just going to wound them all the way around my wreath. And since the pit berries have wire inside them, you don't even have to glue anything down. Now I take and glue my wreath to my picture with just a couple little dots of glue. I don't want that wreath bobbing around. I take one of these little pre-made bows that I got from Walmart. They are red and black plaid, and I'm just going to glue that right to the top of my wreath. And then I go through and I pick out a small red bell and I glue that right in the center. Now I have two little picks that I purchased from Amazon, and they're so adorable, so I'm going to put them on the top with just a little bit of glue. Then for the finishing touch, I take just a little bit of my white chalk paint and I'm going to just barely put it on my branches and on my pine cones and just around my picture because it makes a beautiful snowy look. And that's all there was to this project. This turned out so pretty and I'm just going to display it on an easel. I'd like to stop for just a moment and ask you guys to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. It really helps my channel and it helps YouTube to notice me a little bit more. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love to have you as part of my family. Hit that red subscribe button and then there's a bell beside it, and if you click that and click the word all, YouTube's going to let you know every time I upload a video. Now today I'm in collaboration with Bree from Bree's Arts. And guys, I know that y'all are going to love her. So as soon as you're finished with my video, go check her out and let her know that Crafty Kathy sent you her way. Bree does a little bit of everything on her channel. I know you're going to find what you're looking for when you go there, and you're going to be pleasantly surprised. She hasn't been on the scene for a long time, but her numbers reflect that everybody loves her, and I know you're going to also. I'm going to leave her information in the links down below. Now let's go into number 2. This one is really simple and it turns out really pretty. I've just got one of those new rounds that comes from the Dollar Tree, and I want to say they're probably about 12 inches. They might be 14, but I'm thinking more like 12. Anyways, I gave it a quick little sanding before I gave it one coat of my black chalk paint. Now I'm going to try out the vinyl that comes from the Dollar Tree. I've got this red and black plaid that I think is beautiful. My thought was to put some on the bottom and some on the top and my letters in the middle. Since it had this sticky back to it, it was so easy to use and it was simple to put down on my little plaque. I just laid it across the bottom, cut off the excess, and I'm going to use my little finger sander here to just straighten up the edges. And then I thought that it would probably be best to put a little bit of Mod Podge because it is Dollar Tree and I was afraid that it may not stick over time. So I just went over that whole little bottom part with my Mod Podge. Also, I thought that it might knock down some of that gloss off of that vinyl. But side note, it didn't do that, just to let you know. So here I am putting it on the top, doing the exact same thing, laying it down, cutting it, and then sanding it. On the Cricut design space, I found a decal that says Merry Christmas, y'all, so I'm going to put that right in the middle. I'm really into the messy bows right now. Not only are they beautiful and rustic and farmhouse, but they're super easy to make for someone that is bow challenged. So I just cut 3 different ribbon, and you cut it in an X formation, or you make an X formation with your ribbon, and then you just tie it up in the middle. It's so super simple. I've been buying a lot of my little picks at Walmart because they're only 98 cents a piece. And this is 2 of those. And I'm just going to glue them to the top. And then I take some of the pit berry because we're going to use this as the hanger. And I poke the 2 little holes back through the top. And we're just going to stick that pit berry through there as the hanger. And then I'm just going to stick my bow right in between these 2 little Christmas picks. I like to finish off my bows with some type of embellishment, so I stuck a little button right in the middle of it, and it is cute as a button. And then I just took some white chalk paint and kind of flocked it so it would have that snowy effect. I think that this is a good, economical, smart little wreath to use on your front door because it just cost a few dollars to make. And in that case, if it gets destroyed by the weather, it doesn't really matter that much because it didn't cost an arm and a leg to make. So let's jump into number 3. The Dollar Tree has these fish bowls in 2 different sizes. I got a small one and a medium one. And I'm going to take it outside and spray paint it with this Rust-Oleum frosted glass. And look how beautiful this turns out. I'm going to make a little snowman. And I'm going to start off with some of my buttons. I'm going to use black for his eyes. And I found 2 matching buttons. And those are going to be his eyes. And then I'm going to make his little mouth with the buttons also. And I used 5 buttons that were all the same. Now, the Fishbowl snowman from Dollar Tree is no new thing, but I've never made one before, so I'm going to try my hand at it. I wasn't sure what to make the nose out of, but I thought I can probably at least try to draw a carrot, okay? I'm not a good artist, but I just made a little carrot nose, and then I'm going to use my Arteza orange color. I love the Arteza. They're very vibrant, and I just colored on a little carrot nose to the best of my ability. I add 3 of the larger buttons to his little belly. I'm going to use 2 strings of fairy lights that were sent to me by a company called On For You. I'm going to leave them in the description link in case you want some for yourself. And I'm going to put 1 whole string in the top and 1 string in the bottom. There are 20 lights on each strand, so it gave a beautiful warm glow. I found this little hat at the Dollar General. It still was only $1, and I'm just going to glue it to the top of my little snowman. And then I had a perfectly matching ribbon, and I thought this is going to be absolutely gorgeous for his scarf. So I just wrapped this little ribbon around his neck, and voila, you have the scarf. I've got one of these small red bells that I'm going to stick on his hat because it seemed like it just needed something. And then I added another bell down where the little scarf comes together and some berries. And then I also have this cute little embellishment that came from Walmart off of one of their ornaments. And I'm just going to add that right there where the scarf comes together too, because it perfectly matched his little hat. Now my snowman is going to sit on one of those trays that comes from the Dollar Tree. It's covered up right now. It's hard to see, but it was gold. I took it outside and spray painted it white. I put a piece of floral foam in the middle, and I just started attaching different picks from Amazon that I had ordered, and those are linked in the description box below, by the way. I also added another set of those fairy lights because I like everything to be lit up and beautiful. I added some pine cones from my yard, and I added a couple little bottle brushes that comes from the Dollar Tree also, and some red and white pip berries that come from one of my subscribers. I added some of that fake fluffy snow too. And I did put some inside the head and the body of the snowman also. And now it's time to stick him right up on the top. But I can't glue him down because remember, I do have to stick those lights in there and turn them off and on. So I just straightened up my last little bits and pieces of Frosty the Snowman. And he is finished. And I think he's adorable. Wow, we're already going into DIY 4. I got one of these gather signs that come from the Dollar Tree, and at first I tried to cut around that area that says gather, and then I just realized it wasn't going to work, so I just pulled that whole front piece off. And I'm measuring out to see how I need to cut because we're going to use some Dollar Tree wrapping paper for the backdrop of this picture. So I simply just cut my wrapping paper to the size that I needed, and then I painted everything on that frame black. The front side, back side, inside, outside. And then my little piece of wrapping paper is going to fit down in there perfectly. So I used some glue stick and it just adhered nicely. Now I'm going to take this tumbling tower block and I painted it black because we're going to use it to have a little deer standing on it. And I'm going to use one of those little small deer that comes in a package from Dollar Tree. So I just glue the little block down and glue her on top of the block. Then I take one of the cards that come in my cardstock package from Amazon, and it had a cute little saying on it. It says, "Be glad and be of good cheer, for Christmas comes but once a year." And I glued that right to the top with a couple small beads of glue. Now I have some of this diamond wrap that was sent to me by Totally Dazzled, and I'm just going to use 2 of the little strands to glue all around my little saying so that it will stand out on the picture. I'm going to take 2 of the little bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree and just glue them one on each side of the little dough. Then I take one of my little pre-made ribbons from the Walmart and I'm just going to stick that at the top of my picture. To embellish my bow, right in the center, I put 2 little Christmas light decorations. I still felt like this picture needed something, so I found some little half beads that I had in my stash, and I already had them painted black, and I'm just going to put one on each of the corners of that little Christmas saying. Wow, we're already on our last DIY. Here goes number 5. I hope that you found all these DIYs are super easy to recreate, but this one especially is. I have one of those little sleighs from the Dollar Tree, and we're going to give it 1 coat of white chalk paint after I sand it down with my sanding sponge. I made sure that I got every little nook and cranny. And then I had already cut out this piece of paper. This is the snowman that everybody absolutely loved off of my thumbnail. I thought I had got it off of Canva, but it's actually pixabay.com. I'm going to leave that in the description box below. We are going to make a water slide decal. Now, we've done this in the past before, but I'm going to leave the information in the description box. All you have to do is order the special paper. It's very cheap, and you print whatever image off of your printer, which I picked the snowman. I'm submerging it in the water for only 60 seconds, and then you pull it away from the backing, and it just lays right down on that piece of paper. And then I'm drying it with a little towel. When everything was dry, I decided to do just a little bit of the Waverly Antique Wax and distress this, so I go all the way around it and then I wipe off the excess with a towel. I got a little pack of pine cones from the Dollar Tree, and it also had like a little sprig of pine and some berries in there, and I just kind of put all that together to make a very small little pick, and I put that on my sled. And in my stash, I found this stamp that said joy. So I stamped that across the top, and then I'm going to take one of my little pre-made plaid bows that come from Walmart and stick that up in the upper hand corner, and then embellish that with a little bell. Here we are at the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and go check out Bree. I love y'all. And thank you so much for coming to my channel, Crafty Kathy.
Crafty.
Crafty Kathy. Here, Sabby puts his arm on Kason as if to say, kid, you're cute and all, but this is my show, and don't you forget that. Hey guys, and thank you so much for coming to my channel. I probably need to say my name. Every time. Want to play the loops, the loop. Me, I want the hula hoop. We can hardly stand the wait. Please, Christmas, don't be late. I love you. Who's ready for Thanksgiving? I certainly am, because I'm ready for some turkey.
No, I'm going to eat all your turkey.
You better not eat all my turkey.
Yeah.
I'm going to be mad about that.
I don't want to eat all.
Don't you eat all that turkey.
I will. I want to eat it too.
Don't be mean to the chickens and don't scare them. Hey, girls. They don't get to come out much lately because of the cat. Hey, babies. Hey. I know you want some mealworms. Mama don't have any. Look, Kason, she likes you. She thinks you got food for her. Say, I'm sorry, Loretta, I don't have anything.
Sorry.
See, she thinks you got food. She thinks that toy is food. Oh.
It's not.
She's like, just give it to me and let me see. Sabby, come here. You better not be running off. Oh, my poor babies. They're so sweet. Oh.
Yeah, but they're gonna bite me.
They're not gonna bite you. They've never bit you.
Well, where's Blackie at? Everybody else come out. Blackie, you're scared of your own shadow. What you doing, Retta? Sabby, you scared her. You scared her. What you doing? What you doing, girls? Hey. Hey, pretty baby. Hey, pretty baby. These are pretty girls. Blackie's scared of her own shadow.
Everybody go back to the house. Yay, we checked the mail. Sabby's gonna pee again on the RV stand thingy. And then Nala's gonna lay right here and try to model in the driveway. She's like, I'm so gorgeous. And when the sun hits my fur, you can't beat it. I'm just a lioness.